What is up, you guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys once again with Dallas Stewart on the speakerphone. Dallas, how you doing?
Pretty good. The Super Bowl is almost here.
Yep,
The final game of the season.
which means the final pick of the season.
Yeah.
The final pick of the season. Kansas City versus San Francisco, a rematch of Super Bowl 54 from 4 years ago in Miami. We all know what happened on that one when Patrick Mahomes came back from a 10-point deficit and led that crazy comeback against that San Francisco 49ers defense and that offense of Shanahan's. But now it's not Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Brock Purdy, it's Christian McCaffrey, it's Debo. Still, I think the only players left from that Super Bowl team are like Fred Warner, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Debo Samuel, George Kittle, and who else? Because I know Ayuk was not part of that team.
The 49ers still have like 11 players, but I can't remember all of them.
Yeah, and how many players did the Chiefs?
Debo Samuel and Nick Bosa were a rookie that year.
Yeah, and I know that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are the only two I know of there, and Chris Jones are the only three that I know of left from that same team from the Chiefs.
I know the Chiefs probably have a few more left from that 2019 team, but
yeah, but let's get into it.
The 49ers still have a little bit more left from that 2018 team than the Chiefs do.
Yeah, but let's get into it. San Francisco, the young, humble kid, Brock Purdy, I mean, granted, as a Seahawks fan, I gotta say, Purdy, what he's done ever since he's came in the league has been nothing short of incredible.
Yeah.
And he's a humble kid from what I've seen him talk. He's a humble kid, and he's just lighting it up. And that defense obviously has been a big factor to why the 49ers have been so dominant in the NFC. And there's no surprise that they're back there in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, kind of an unusual road that they've had to navigate through. Have had to come back in both their games to make the Super Bowl. Haven't played their best, to be honest.
Granted, there were some bad coaching decisions on the other sides of their opponents, like Matt LaFleur choosing to go for a quarterback sneak on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. And, of course, the one that takes the cake, Dan Campbell, not taking those 2 field goals to really put the pressure on him, because when Detroit was up, 14, they could have freaking made it a 17-point game again and really put the pressure on them. And and San Francisco at best could have forced overtime on Detroit, in that NFC Championship game if Dan Campbell didn't, get too greedy.
Yeah, there was a lot of questionable coaching decisions in that NFC Championship by Dan Campbell, and
it costed him.
It really did, and boy, the Lions really just imploded in that second half.
And then obviously the Chiefs, their defense really came to play against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, granted the Chiefs' offense they didn't do anything in that second half, but their defense just won them that game. I mean, granted. Hence, I'm glad the Seahawks got Mike McDonald as a head coach. I'm anxious to see what he does for our defense now, especially with his defense shutting out the Chiefs in the second half of that AFC Championship. Just Lamar and that Ravens offense couldn't get anything going against them.
Yeah, forcing those 3 turnovers were huge.
But now, Kansas City side of it. Kansas City, the last couple of weeks, the Chiefs have been underdogs, both against the Bills and against the Baltimore Ravens, and Patrick Mahomes has proven each time that when he's an underdog, he rises to the occasion, and he is going to be an underdog. The Chiefs are definitely the underdog again in this Super Bowl, because I see the 49ers are the favorite, and for a very good reason, too. But if history has shown me anything, when Patrick Mahomes is the underdog, he seems to rise to the occasion, and he shows why it's a bad idea to not to sleep on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those were 2 impressive wins on the road in the playoffs. The Bills, and then the number 1 seed, the Ravens.
Yeah.
Just completely shutting down their offense.
Yeah, and Kansas City, man, just with Kansas City, it's just like people thought, they had the one game that I even thought that they weren't going to make it back to the Super Bowl having to go on the road. It's the first time Mahomes has ever had to go on the road in the playoffs, and he literally with the rest of that Chiefs team and the defense in the AFC Championship game, they willed themselves back to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I counted them out a lot this year. They just hadn't played very well at times this year, but
yeah,
here they are.
And I was at one of those games where they didn't play well.
When it matters the most.
Yeah, and I was at one of those games when they didn't play well. That's that Chiefs-Jets game during the regular season. That's one example. One of Mahomes' worst games I've seen him play where he ended up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game, though, it's like, if anything at most, I made those big mistakes of sleeping on Patrick Mahomes the last two playoff games that they played leading up to them getting to the Super Bowl. I picked for him in their first game against the Miami Dolphins in Kansas City. But
yeah, that was the easiest game they've had on their road to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but now, I mean, for how good San Francisco is, I think this game, I think they definitely got a good chance at winning that this year too, but this just part of me, and this isn't a disrespect to them, I just can't make that pick to pick against Mahomes again, unfortunately. Mahomes is pulling basically when everybody counted Tom Brady out. Tom Brady always rose to that occasion. He showed why he's not to be slept on.
Yeah.
So granted, I know Tom Brady's the only quarterback ever to beat Mahomes in both the conference championship and the Super Bowl too, which we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mahomes, what he's pulled in all his years of being a starter, going to the AFC Championship every year that he's been a starter, 4 Super Bowl appearances now, it's nothing short of incredible.
Yeah.
And with that being said, my pick for the winner of Super Bowl 58, I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win this Super Bowl. I'm going to go with a score of 27-20. I'm going to go KC by a touchdown. 27-20.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to become the first repeat Super Bowl champion since the 2003 and then the 2004 Patriots by a score of 28-26. Kind of a weird score. I think the 49ers scored a touchdown with 2 minutes left or so, and they stopped a 2-point conversion, and they don't recover an onside kick, and the Chiefs run out the clock. I think the keys for a 49ers victory is to get off to a fast start.
Yep.
And to really get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. With no Joe Tooney playing in this game, they gotta make life in the pocket uncomfortable for him.
Yeah,
and force some turnovers if they want a chance at winning.
And then with the Chiefs missing one of their other big time pass rushers, they should really capitalize running Christian McCaffrey a lot too on that side of the ball too if they also want to win too. Run McCaffrey a lot.
I give the 49ers credit for coming back in both their playoff wins, but if they get down like they did against the Lions, they're not coming back against a defense that as good as the Chiefs. So a fast start is critical for them.
Yeah.
I do think they do have an advantage on the outside with some of their skill players at receiver and at running back. But obviously they have the Chiefs obviously have the quarterback advantage, but I would say the 49ers have an advantage at the skill position players.
Yeah.
And, tight end, these are 2 of the best tight ends in the game.
Yeah, Kelsey and Kittle, by far and away. But if the Chiefs want to get a win, they're going to have to at least force at least 2 or 3 turnovers in this game. That Chiefs defense is going to have to at least force 2 or 3 turnovers. And they're really going to have to shut down the running attack of McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel on those jet sweeps, and they're going to have to really get some pressure on Chris Jones is going to have to get a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy too.
Yeah. So I have neither team getting to 30, but nearly getting there.
Yeah.
All right. I have it going over the 47.5. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to hold the 49ers under 25.
Yeah, same here.
Well, no, but you had
No,
it.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think it's gonna be KC by a touchdown, 27-20. But if it reaches 30, I don't know. Well, Mahomes, you just can't. Like I said, San Francisco, for as good as they are, but Mahomes is showing why you don't sleep on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there you have it. That's our Super Bowl 58 picks. Drop your picks down below. Last pick of the year. Let's see how it goes. Catch you
I
all.
would be really shocked if this was a blowout. I just can't see it. Both teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, we'll see, though. Especially with some of the players that the Chiefs are missing, too. But who are the 49ers missing? I don't think the Niners are missing anybody.
No, I think they're relatively healthy.
Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, catch you all later. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. As always, go Seahawks.